Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Alright, look like the audio is fine. But what I'm gonna do different this time, I'm gonna play the audio or the music in the background. I'm gonna play it out of the computer speakers so it doesn't actually interfere with the signal. Cause this was not planned, so I didn't set this up. You know, the way it needed to be set up. I've been having all type of issues trying to set things up. Just cause I ain't even been on it like that. Had to deal with a whole bunch of other shit. Meaning is, you know, it's my son's birth month. So I just been busting ass, make sure he got everything you want. Probably dropped about 1,300 on that shit. So now that that's smooth, now that that's taken care of, now we can get back to business. But let me play this background music and we'll get started in just a second. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. But before we get into that, definitely got to show y'all the creativity, you know, what's been going on creatively. Because at this point, I'm just producing shirts, creative shirts. For example, I'm wearing one right now. See if y'all can see this. Alright. Another one of my designs. So all I wear is my own designs at this point. I got tons of shirts. Nothing but original designs. So that's what's been going on creatively. But let's get to this music. Or the intro music, and we'll get started. Alright, alright. Let me play some background music now. Alright. So again, y'all haven't been seeing me because I just been busting ass. Getting these goddamn bills paid and investing into everything. It just gives me less time, you know. Whereas before, I wasn't really caring about the upgrades and having everything look perfect. You know, I just wanted to speak from the heart. Nowadays, it's like if I was to still speak from my heart, I would just be hurting people's feelings. Cause you already know, like my views and my opinions are not mainstream, so it's like it's not for the public, right? It ain't even for me to put certain shit out in the atmosphere no more because I don't even care to get that type of energy. It's no longer. I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to piss people off, but I just do. That's just the energy of the horn god, and because the world has essentially moved past the horn god, where they really only respect the goddess, right? Anything of that energy, of that aura, is gonna be is gonna rub people the wrong way, which it should, because nobody told the world to walk essentially too far to they can't find themselves. They don't even know where they're going. There's just a bunch of chaos and confusion, whether we're looking at politics or whether we're looking at what's going on right in front of us. All we see, again, especially the corporate world. So if you're in any part of the corporate world, you see the same things I see. You experience the same things I experience. Excuse me, which is why I had to go into the corporate world in order to see the full picture. It was one thing just being an artist or just being a content creator, and you just get to stay at home. You don't really need to deal with the world too much. You can kind of be in isolation, which essentially what I was doing. So even when I was navigating the streets, I was still essentially isolated because I was just more into, you can say, the spirituality, getting spiritual. Whereas now, because I'm more worldly, I have to be around people and deal with people's bullshit, ups, downs, middles, and you're dealing with the archetypes and you're learning everybody. It's just a whole different atmosphere, and it just requires a higher level of, you can say, finesse. You can say it's like you can't afford to be nothing but player or nothing but pimpish, nothing but finesse. It's like all you can say the savage shit or the underground shit, the underworld shit, it's not going to be tolerated in certain atmospheres. So it's not that you can't do it. You just have to, you can say, mix your demons and your angels. Can't be full demon and you can't be full angel because, of course, the angels will be taken advantage of by the demons. Even though you can say angels are technically more powerful, they can hold higher levels of light. But that's when manipulation comes in. Things where people can still be manipulated to make them other than themselves. And that's essentially where we have arrived, where we have people are other than themselves because they feel like that's really all they know because that's all you ever experience, or people find it hard to go beyond their own personal experience. That's really what it is. What I mean by people find it hard to go beyond their own experience, it's just hard to talk to people without them taking things personal. Not necessarily what's coming out of your mouth, but what's going on around them. Everyone is taking everything personal. Like everything is a personal attack because when you look at it, it is personal, but it's not for you to react as if it is personal, if you can understand what I'm saying. So if somebody called you out your name, called you a bitch, and you would be like, okay, well, they called me a bitch. That was a personal attack, but it really wasn't. Even though it happened to you, it wasn't personal. It's just things going on that most people don't understand, and avatars are sent to trigger certain effects within you. It ain't even about them, it's about you. It's about how did you respond to being called out of your name or being disrespected or even being respected, then manipulated or taken advantage of. So it can come in all type of forms and fashions. But what makes the difference is how you react. That's really the only thing that matters. It's not even about what happens to you. It's about how do you react to what happens. That's more important than what actually happened to you. Because if you're able to stay player about it, then it's like, who can really harm you? People already feel like they are physically protected by God or the devil or whatever the fuck they're into, right? They already feel like, okay, no harm is going to come to me. Well, that's not even what you got to worry about. It's about the reactions. So you're probably not going to be shot with a gun. Nobody's probably going to beat your ass. You're probably physically protected. But then your emotions is what essentially you could say get us into the bullshit. We be getting ourselves in the bullshit because we allow ourselves to be pulled in because we don't want to deal with the darker psychologies and the darker aspects of human nature. And because they are something you have to deal with, it ain't like you can ignore it and it just disappears. You must deal with it. So even though it's not talked about in the mainstream, they're going to keep putting the same bullshit in your face, everything to distract you from what's actually going on, which is how people stay locked in the matrix. People stay locked in the matrix because they're not able to have enough discernment as to what's real and what's not real. People are able to project illusions. Illusionary magic is real. All right, so we'll pause it right here because I'm gonna grab a couple things. I'll be right back though. So let me play some background music. Let me grab a couple things, and we'll continue the live stream. We're gonna do a little brief intermission, but I'll be right back. All right, so I want to show y'all a couple things, but it's not within my arm's grasp. So give me 1 second here. I think, well, that works. Let me see. Can I go to the secondary? Yeah, there we go. Let me put on some tunes for you, and I'll be right back. back. We're back. Turn the camera back on. Hold on. All right, we're back. All right. 93, 93. What's up, Vishahan? What's up, Tech Mass? What's going on, everybody? What's going on? So, hey, let me make the screen back bigger. All right. So what we were getting into was we're just at a time where you have to be in control of your demons, your jinn, your Kareen, whatever direction you want to take it. There is no more of your emotions getting the best of you, for example. There is no more, allowing rage or negative emotions to take control over your spirit. There's just no more time for that. Because we must be able to make the right decision beforehand. Essentially, you have to be able to see things or every move in advance. So all these people living in the moment, living in the now, let them enjoy themselves or what they think to be enjoyment, as if the Matrix is anything to be enjoyed. Can you have enjoyment and pleasures here in the Matrix? Sure. But it only serves as a catalyst for higher states of ecstasy. This is not the end all be all. You can have $1 billion, have everything in the material world that there is to have, and you will still seek for things outside of the Matrix, because our soul is bigger than the Matrix. So while everybody's life goal is, you can say, to get rich or to have all these things or to get all this, whatever they feel they have to amass, whatever abundance they feel is owed to them, they speak as if that's the fucking goal. That is the lowest fucking level of the Kabbalah, which is the planet or world of Asia, right? That's the material world. So you can be absolutely successful. That's why we have all these examples in front of us, whether it's these celebrities, these politicians. We have all these so-called successful people in front of us, and we feel because they are successful that we should take heed to them, or we should listen to what they have to say or follow in their lead, because they have all the answers, because they have proved to be able to be successful in business, which again is the lowest level. That's why you have many people that they have no principles, no morals, but they're financially fine. Meaning you're going to see more of that than anything else. And this is why when even in modern terms, influencers, right? We have all these influencers, all these people who appear to be successful because they have figured things out, they're doing the right thing. But if that was the case, then the media will have nothing to report about. Let's just be realistic here. If all these so-called successful people were, you could say, the best of us, the media wouldn't have anything to talk about. Why? All the media talks about is what the gossip, what this person is doing, what this person may be doing. You have all the tabloids that talk about this on a daily basis. Why? Because these people are followed. They follow these celebrities and they try to pry into, you could say, their secret lives. And whenever they gain information that could potentially reveal private affairs, then it gets released to the public. But what the public doesn't understand is they don't live a life that the public lives. For example, that's why whenever you be hearing about what may be going on in somebody's life or whatever, it just always seems kind of extreme. They try to spice up the story and just make it bigger than life as if this is the thing that you should be focused on. Why is it so important that they put, you can say, everybody's dirty business out in the forefront? Why is that always what leads the media, what the media wants to report about? Why? Because it makes them money. Why does it make them money? Because they understand darker psychology. They understand the darker aspects of human nature. I keep saying this, right? We can't get mad at them because they understand how we work and we don't understand how we work. In other words, they understand how the brain works. It is our job to understand how our soul works, because the soul is the only thing that can triumph over this pull that we call human instincts. Because we are in the flesh, we all have human instincts. You're attracted to what you're attracted to. You're drawn to what you're drawn to. You may be able to hold it back. For example, you may be somebody that's married and you know, okay, I'm not going to step outside my marriage, but that doesn't stop you from being attracted to other people. It's just a human nature. And you just know how to keep that aspect of your human nature under control so that you don't end up violating. Because you know it becomes costly. A divorce is costly. So you're like, all right, it ain't even that. You just love this person so much. It's just like, okay, if I made certain moves, it's going to financially burden me. I'm going to be financially burdened. That's why I'm not doing these things. And that's really how humans work. Love is not what's keeping guns out of people's hands or stopping people from doing fuck shit. It's the law. It's the consequences that come behind it that keeps people in place. That's how humans work. We're not doing the right thing because we are just justly people. Everybody wants you to believe that, though. We're so righteous, we're so just, we're so fair. That's not what's keeping people from doing fucked up shit. It's the consequences. It's the law that keeps them from doing it. So the only thing that's stopping people from being absolute savages is the law. It ain't fucking God or whatever religion that they claim. It's the fucking law. They follow the law more than they follow their religion, true or false. What is being followed more on a daily basis? You can't even go outside without having to follow the law. If you step outside the bounds of law, now you know you're making a block hot. So you do your best to remain under the radar. Then you can worry about your God or your devil or your Jesus, whatever the fuck. Even though people say keep God first, nah, no you don't. No you don't. You keep this demiurge first that we call the Matrix. That's what you keep first. Because people can be in jail and still believe in God. People don't want to go to jail more than they don't want to go to hell. Let's just be honest here. I just have to say this shit. Everybody wants to pretend like this is not the case. It is. You do your best every day to stay the fuck out of jail more so than you try to please your Lord. Because you can please your Lord in a goddamn jail cell, but you prefer to do it outside of one, don't you? You prefer to be free and then worship whatever the fuck you want to worship. You want to do that free. So you do everything within your power to remain free, first and foremost. That is the priority. The priority is freedom. And with that freedom comes whatever you want to worship and whatever people want to do it, which is completely irrelevant. Because the one thing we all have in common is we want to maintain our freedom. That is the priority. Why people don't want to just say these things is because they're fucking fake. And that's what fake people do. They don't want to reveal to you the truth because that fucks up their illusion, which again, just like in the Matrix, they are the ones who took the blue pill and who found comfort in that. They found comfort in being fed fake stakes. This is why we just have to pay attention to these things. It's not going to be said, but if you're really looking at what are they really trying to show you, it's more than what it appears to be on screen. It's pointing you to a certain instinctual aspects within human beings that like, okay, this is how people are going to operate, regardless of their religion, regardless of their God, regardless of their Lord. People are going to behave like human beings. So if you don't make that the priority to understand human nature, people are trying to understand God before they understand human nature, and that's the problem we have. That's why people are fucking foolish. They want to have a more spiritual connection to the fucking ancestors. Then they want to understand, okay, do I understand which one of my neighbors are killers? Which one of these motherfuckers are violent? Which one of these motherfuckers are humble? Like, we don't even understand the environment enough to even be comfortable to start to worship the divine. That's why I say there is no divine masculine. It's a divine feminine, but the masculine is demonic. There is no divine masculine. It's just a demonic masculine. Which you see, you're not going to really hear people say that. You're going to have a bunch of dudes trying to be divine, but it just makes you more feminine. Is it anything wrong with being more feminine? Nope. I'm just telling you what the result is. In order to be more masculine, you have to be more demonic. But that's why we have a angelic Kareen and a demonic Kareen. So we already have these spiritual attributes attached to us before we even consider anything that I'm talking about. This shit is already in existence. It's already playing out. So whenever you say we sin, that's just us, you could say, under the influence of our own demonic or malevolent Kareen. And whenever we do anything positive or spiritual, that's just us under the influence of our positive or angelic Kareen. Energies that are attached to you for the remainder of your life. So that's why I say demon. You just have to tame your demons. They ain't going nowhere. They're going to always be a part of you. Just like you can't separate the Kabbalah from the clip-off. People try to, they're going to say they either don't teach the clip-off, or when they do teach it, it's just all negative. You don't understand how the clip-off is essential for the Kabbalah to function. You can't remove the clip-off and expect the Kabbalah, which is the world, to function. Meaning, in other words, you can't take away the black market and expect for everything to just function as is. Without the black market, you don't really have an economy. Do they want to tell you that? Nope. Would they ever say that out loud? Nope. It's the black market that really controls what we seeing going on in the stock market. And I'm revealing secrets now. You ain't gonna hear nobody else tell you that shit, but take away the black market, I guarantee you the stock market would be in shambles. You can't have one without the other. So the faster we understand this principle, then the more we can advance and move in the right direction and not be distracted by all the bullshit. They're always trying to put contrasting figures in your face. That's why we see this on politics, right? It's always Democrat versus Republican, and they're like complete opposites, right? And depending on what side you fall on, you're going to prefer one over the other. But we do have a third party, the party of independence. So instead of thinking about, okay, who's going to be the next Democratic president, who's going to be the next Republican president, who's going to be the first independent president, which is basically what Robert F. Kennedy is trying to be, right? If we want to go into politics. But everybody ain't nobody really moving in that direction. They're thinking about Donald Trump or Kamala. Who's going to be the next Democrat, next Republican? Not even considering what if neither one of those is the answer. But that takes a little bit too much of a leap for most people because their whole identity is connected with the politics. They can't separate themselves from the party that they align with. So you can't like, okay, I'm not going to be a Democrat no more. I'm about to be an independent, or I'm not going to be a Republican. I'm going to be an independent. That's just too much of a leap for the average person to make. It's human nature. It's a human instinct. It ain't because Certain people can and certain people can't. When you study human beings, you're studying things that if you don't tame them, you will be a victim too. You're not above the shit. You just make the decision to keep it under control. But if you tomorrow decided not to keep it under control, then you would be within the same boundaries as everybody else. That's really why they say, well, we're all sinners. It ain't about what you do on a daily basis. That people just completely misunderstand all these things because they're not qualified to even read this shit. There was a time where everybody didn't have a Bible in their household. There was a time where you had to go to church and you had to go amongst the hierophant, aka the preacher. You had to go before them and then they translate the word to you. So you had to go to a sacred space and get the word translated to you versus everybody just having their own understanding because everybody got access to these holy books now. And then they think they understand the shit, but they really don't. Because again, when you listen to other people talk about this shit, like, yo, you didn't even read the goddamn Latin or the Arabic or the Hebrew. Going straight into the English, and there's so much lost in translation. But again, when we're only operating from one level, when we're only operating from the realm of Asia, and we're not acknowledging that there's 3 more levels, you don't understand what's getting lost in translation. The things that are getting lost requires you to have a higher discernment. And because most people don't have a higher discernment, we can just translate this shit and act like it don't matter when it actually does. But people say they study or they practice spirituality, but they can't even explain what I just explained. That's why I don't trust any of that shit, honestly. Because my own personal experience has shown me different than what everybody else is experiencing. Is like, I'm like, that's why I don't identify with none of this shit, right? That's why I've never identified with none of the shit that most people promote. You see, I had to come with my own understanding, doing my own shit, right? I had to come with 93. I couldn't come under any other thing because all that other shit is fake to me. I'm like, okay, this is the real shit now. The only people that can understand that is other 93. Anybody else is, of course, they're going to prefer whatever lifestyle that they're into. But that's because they don't allow themselves to go beyond their comfort zone. Because honestly, when I say 93, that's everything. That's not just one thing. That's everything. When you read the book of the law, does it not reference everything? It's referencing everything. So it's not trying to say, okay, we're over here and everybody else is over there. No, this is just a one place that you can study everything and without a bias. We don't have to be biased to one God over another God when you realize we can work with whatever we need to work with depending on the situation. We don't have to limit ourselves to one pantheon or one deity or one principle, especially when you consider yourself the all mother or the all father. If you are everything, if everything is already contained in you, and you represent the embodiment of the all, you are the all in one. You are the one, but within you, outside, you are the one, like you're one person, but within one person, you have the entire universe. So that means we can tap into whatever we need to tap into. We're not limited, well, because I came out this way, or because I'm this particular zodiac sign, or because I was born in this particular environment or this particular city. That's all it is. That's what they want you to think, but we know the consequences behind that. Okay, if you want to be a product of your environment, that means they have already predicted your path. Remember, they can only study humans from the lowest levels. That's why everybody's just interested in the savages. You can say you're all this, the most violent people, you know, all these, what is people always watching? Fucking Crime Stoppers. What is it? CSI. Why do so many people find these things interesting and watch this shit with crime, all this crime written stuff, all this murder shit? Why do we fantasize about what these mobsters, these gangsters, everybody's just drawn? They don't even know why though. See, that's the thing. They don't know why. There's a reason behind it, but they don't know why. Because within these people, they have accepted a darkness that people still struggle to accept within themselves. So when you see these celebrities who's living these wild ass lives, or these gangsters who's doing all these heinous crimes, and it just reminds them that it's something within you that you have yet to come to accept. So the only way for you to experience it is vicariously through, you can say, what we call it in today's times, entertainment. Entertainment gives you a way to experience levels of yourself that you have not come to accept. Because you can easily say, well, I can listen to, you can say, drill music and not murder nobody. Right? I can just listen to it for the effect. Well, what effect is it actually giving you? Is it not awakening the demons that's within you? You just know how to know, like, all right, I'm not going to pick up a gun and do anything crazy. But it was never about that. Do some people listen to music and get influenced? Sure. But to say that that is the reason that it exists would be false. Meaning, just because when we look at what the mainstream does with occult tools, that is never the actuality of why it exists. Because we know once the public gets their hands on something, they're going to take it to the lowest level. They're not going to take it to the highest level. They're going to take it to the lowest level. Why? Because that's the level they exist on. Because it takes a different type of person to unlock the elements of their soul. You have to be interested in the higher ethers of reality. But that, again, that's not easy to do. That's why it was only one fucking Jesus, was only one Muhammad, one Buddha. Because clearly majority of the people ain't trying to go through all that shit. All Christ was trying to show you is what I'm doing, or what I am, you are too. You have the ability to do these things, but what everybody do is make him the symbol of worship instead of taking heed to the message. We all are the Christ. We all have these potentials within us, but let's just make him the symbol of worship. Or let's pray to him. Let's make him God, or let's make her God, as if you don't have the ability to be the same God or to be the same goddess. But is that how people treat it? Absolutely not. They just become worshipers and followers instead of ascending to the level of the Christ and ascending to the level of the goddess. But even with Christ, again, there's a reason why you don't hear about his upbringing, because his upbringing will show you just how much of a demon he was. See, without that element of the story, you can't really understand the journey of Christ. That's why they make him a symbol, because you don't understand the journey you had to go through. Again, there are certain stories. He was a murderer. He killed shit. This motherfucker was just as savage as anybody out here in today's times. He just came amongst the sages and the ones who had wisdom, and they was able to turn him on the right path. And then they sent him out to the world to be an example. But you don't get the first half of the story. This is what I'm saying. This is why people are interested in the darkness of the world. You know, the murderers, the killers, the drug dealers, because they are waiting to see the one who's going to get in tune with the wisdom and then flip that shit and be the Christ. Because that's how it happens. But when you delete the first half, when you delete, okay, this motherfucker was an absolute savage. When you delete that shit, and then you just have people think he was just born divine and he's been divine. Now that gives a false impression, because that's not how it happened at all. That's not how it happens for anybody. Anybody who has tapped into Christ consciousness, it's been because they've been through a long ass journey of some dark ass shit. This ain't just, they just been. All right. Anyway, we're just going to keep going. We're not even about to be distracted by all that. Essentially, what's being said here is you must not be afraid to take the demonic route, because that's really the only necessary path. So while everybody else is trying to be saintly, they're trying to be just, they're trying to be righteous, and then it becomes something that it never appeared that it would go in that direction. Like, we've had essentially people that presented themselves as saints and then go in a whole different direction. But it's not too often that you see people present themselves as demons and then just say that. It seems as if when you dig into the darkness, you begin to, you can say, mature. You're not going to be on the same type of time, for, you can say, people can be looking for God their whole life. People can be in the spiritual path their whole life. But when you get into this darkness, you have to really go and explore everything. You don't get to just go in one direction. You don't get to go in the straight path. You got to take curves and alternative routes to figure out how things really operate. You don't get to have a ready-made path. You don't get to have a predictable path. You have a path that takes you in mazes and circles and almost drives you insane before you realize, oh, I should have been going up and down. I'm looking at left, right, or north, south, west, and east. I did not consider, okay, what about space? What about time? Like, there's more dimensions than what we are aware of. And when you begin to consider those other dimensions, that's how you go from 2D to 3D to 4D to 5D. But when we talk like that, people have just taken the so-called spiritual language and just made it to the point where it's hard for me to even study it. It's hard for me to even care about it at this point. I'm like, it's using spiritual lingo, like it's played out at this point to me. Can't speak for nobody else, but to me, it's just, I'll just be ready to throw up. Anything related to spirituality just doesn't, I don't even care for anymore. It's just straight occultism, straight anything demonic or anything angelic. But it has to be both. I'm not going to listen to, okay, you're just going to talk about the angels and you're not going to talk about the demons. I'm like, all right, so now you're doing, this is what I mean by when it's always one-sided, as if that's a complete story. Like, it's not complete. There couldn't be no angels without demons. That's why we have stories that talk about the creation of these things, because it's telling you that one could not exist without the other. So even when we hear about the story of the fall of Lucifer, that's still showing you the necessity that they needed to exist. Who the fuck are the angels gonna fight if there is no demons? They just gonna be in heaven chilling? Oh, Adam and Eve, they never have to go to planet Earth. They get to stay in the Garden of Eden. Imagine if Adam and Eve, again, now we're just speaking metaphorically, stayed in the Garden of Eden and never ate from the forbidden fruit. They just would have been in the Matrix. You can say that would have just been blue pill. They would have never known that there are levels beyond this, right? So, yeah, exactly. People talking about love and light, or all positive vibes, or positive vibes only. Positive vibes only. How do you just completely ostracize the negative like it don't exist? So I only want to deal with positive people, positive vibes. Okay, so negativity don't exist to you. If you remove all the negativity from your being, you don't exist. There is no atoms without the negative charge. So if you remove all negativity, you don't even exist. But do they think like that? No. That's what I mean. Like, this whole spiritual shit, it's not in alignment with reality at this point at all. It has been so watered down that people feel like that they're saying something when they say shit like that. When they say things like that. It's like, wait a minute, how do you can't do that? That doesn't make sense. But do they care about making sense? Nope. So when that's not even what they're striving to do, then where do you think that's going to lead to? Well, nothing but chaos and confusion. And that's exactly what happened. It's just a bunch of chaos and confusion. That's just all it is. At this point, where like all the so-called entertainers and all the people that's doing all the stupid ass shit is people that's already, you can say, popular. It ain't the regular people, it's the people that's already in position, people that's already influencing. That's what's making the headlines. It's the people that we already know. It ain't the people we don't know, it's the people we already know. Those are the people that's making headlines. It's the people, you could say, we put in power. We put people in power, then we get upset when they abuse it, as if they were ever qualified to have it. They were never qualified to have it. Again, this is a journey. But when the people elect you, again, you can say that's the difference between, if we want to take it to politics, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. One of them was elected by the people. Another was elected by the Matrix. It's just that simple. It's just showing you two different paths, two different routes. I'm not saying which is positive, which is negative. Well, people will consider Trump negative. People will consider Kamala positive. But you need both. You need both. So it's like we're looking at, well, who's the positive one? Who's the negative one? It's like, yo, who is both? Who is both? Right? Everybody's a master manifester on TikTok. And you know why that works and why people are into that? They've been working a long time. That's all I can say. What do? Anything that's going to really transform you, they have to come in and take it over. Remember, spirituality. And I remember this because I've been on YouTube the entire time. So I have seen this. That's why I'm giving y'all perspectives that you can't get from other people. I have been a content creator on YouTube since YouTube existed. So I wasn't just watching videos, I was putting videos out on YouTube going back all the way, 2007. YouTube came out in 2005. So pretty much I've been a part of this platform essentially the entire time it has existed. So I remember being young and looking up spiritual information when I was a teenager, and the only people I found who were talking about spiritual stuff is actually masters of their craft. It wasn't these people trying to be influencers making money, because there was no money to be made. All these people came around when money became the thing. Oh, this is a way to make money, because when there was no money in this shit, the only people around was the people that was doing it from the heart. That's why I was doing it. I was not making no money. I was doing it from the heart like everybody else was doing it. So I've seen the purest aspects of YouTube, because I have been a part of the community the entire time. So when I was looking up, that's why I know things other people don't know, because I was learning on YouTube before people even knew that was the place to learn from. So I was learning from actual masters, because they were the only ones talking about spirituality. Those were the only people there or here, right? The only people here was the people that chose to be here from the heart. So they had already made their money. They already had the clout, so they wasn't coming to YouTube to do any of that. So once YouTube became Google, that's when it became corrupted, right? So that's why this has become a money racket, because they just prey on the weakness of people. That's all it is. They prey on the weakness of people. They know how gullible people are. They know how much people want to end their suffering, and why people are going through all this, bullshit. So it's like, of course you want to manifest, you can say, luxury and greatness in your life when you feel like shit is fucked up. Of course you want to manifest positive vibes when you feel like you're around negativity all your life, or every day, all day you're dealing with negativity. Of course you want to manifest some positivity into your life. But you see, with people who are balanced, like, okay, I understand why the negative has to exist. Because if it's all positive, it's not complete. So I have to have negative shit happen in my life in order to appreciate the positive. To the point where I don't even want to get rid of the negative because that's not reality. There is no way to get rid of the negative. You can have it under control, but you're not going to ever get rid of it. You're going to always have the anti. That's why the shirt says anti-super user, right? The shirt says anti, you see anti-super user. Because it is necessary. The anti is necessary. You don't just get to be a super user. There's no super user without an anti-super user. So that's why I put this on the damn shirt. So every day I'm walking around anti-super user. Just as a reminder of reality, like, okay, you want to be this way, then this way exists too. Not for you to follow this way. Because really it's only for the people that understand, which is not many. That's why Christ only had 12 disciples. He was teaching everybody. But it was only 12 motherfuckers that was really with the shit. And then if you take away the person that turned him in, it depends on what stories you read. Because certain Gnostic stories said that Jesus already gave the word, turn me in. So while everybody was looking at him, oh, he's a traitor, that was a play by Jesus himself. Depending on what literature you read. Again, I've read a lot of fucking literature. It all depends on what you read. So while everybody thinks, oh, he's a traitor, he committed treachery. In some cases, he didn't. He just did what his homie told him to do. It all depends on what source, and that's why I understand why people have different perspectives, because there's a lot of literature, and it depends on how you feel about it. But if we just look at the literature for what it is, like I was saying earlier, if you understand how much of a savage Christ was, as opposed to, oh, he was just this way the whole time, he was just positive the whole time, you would think like he never had to go through no negative shit. He did. He went through all the negative shit that all the youth goes through today. They're dealing with all these things in the streets. He went through all of it. But that made him the perfect candidate. It's the same thing with Muhammad and Islam. Peace be upon him. Right? They said he was illiterate. Then Jibril ran up on him with those Quranic verses. He never had any direct contact with Allah himself. It was all through Angel Jibril that revealed to him the Quran. But the key is he was illiterate. Not illiterate as he couldn't read or write. See, that's what people get confused. Illiterate doesn't just, okay, well, he didn't know how to read and write. Illiterate just means he didn't claim shit. He was, you can say, really in them streets, if we use modern terms. This was not just an ultra positive person that was saintly. It was nothing saintly about him. However, Angel Jibril ran up on this, you can say, sinner, and then made him a prophet. But he had to be a sinner first. It wasn't, oh, he just always. So it's like, and this is what any story of any prophet. Read the story of any prophet. They're all the same. They was just sinners like everybody else. Then they shit got switched. They got ran up on by an angel. They got ran up on by somebody with some wisdom, and then they path switched. It happens every single time. It happens every single time. You was a real one too, man. Ever since our Uber ride, I was like, this dude knows his shit. Of course, man. And you see, I don't just be revealing things to anybody. I can read people's spirits. I'm like, I know who to reveal things to and who just to shut my goddamn mouth to, you know? So I was real with you because I'm like, oh, you got a real soul, so I can speak to you plainly. I don't have to, put on the circus act. So I give the same. I can, I've been doing it. So if I feel you ready to hear it, then I'm gonna tell you. And then when I see people that's still ingrained, I don't even know if that's a word, ingrained or ingrained in the matrix, then I'm like, all right, if you took the blue pill, I'm not about to hit you with no red pill. See, that's what I mean by finesse. Finesse is you understand that the blue pillars is gonna stay blue pillars. You don't need to hit them with red pill shit, which is basically what people try to do. Like, no, you don't need to bring knowledge to people that want to be ignorant. You bring the knowledge to those who they have a certain spark within them. If you have the spark, it has always been in you. It ain't gonna really, can't nobody put it in you. It's either in you or it's not in you. Some people have came here to be fucking zombies. Let them be zombies. That's why they're here. That's why it's only a couple prophets. It's only a couple masters at a time. Everybody is not doing that, and everybody don't care to do that. So when you are a person that actually has that type of pull, that has that certain drive, it's just you. It's really just you. Don't expect for anybody else to be able to match your energy. Most of the time, it's just you. And you probably don't even know why you're the chosen one. Like, if you ask me, like, yo, why is it me? I can't tell you why. The fucking spirits just ran up on me. I only became spiritual when I had a spiritual experience. That's it. And then I started to study to explain, well, why the fuck did that just happen? That's what encouraged me to study. I wasn't just studying this shit because it was popular, because at the time it wasn't. All the shit that's cool now, when I was doing it, it wasn't cool. That's why I said I've been doing this for so long. I was doing it when it wasn't cool, and I had to deal with the consequences of people not accepting what's accepted now. So that's why my energy is different. That's why I guess my energy is a little bit more stern and hard, because I'm like, I don't come from these times where you can just say, okay, positive vibes only, and everybody understands the type of time you on. No, I was coming with tarot decks, and people was still saying that shit was devil shit. I'm coming with astrology, that's devil talk. I'm coming with all the shit I'm been came with, so I'm like, all right, I guess I must be the fucking devil then. Because everything I do, every time I be presenting shit, it's like, oh, that's devilish. That got some shit to do with devils and demons. Well, I guess I'm just a fucking jinn then. That was just how I accepted it. I'm like, I keep hearing the same response from all these different people. Like, it just makes them nervous. I'm like, well, I guess it's just me then. I guess I just make you nervous. I guess I must be the devil that you will never look face to face with within yourself. I just represent the outer manifestation of something within you have refused to accept. Well, fuck it, I'll be it. Then that's from then on, I accepted. I'm like, fuck it, I'll be it. Then that's how I manifested on YouTube. I had to accept, like, oh, that's who I am. That's the energy that was put on me. That wasn't the energy that I put on myself. It was put on me because I'm just being myself, but myself makes people look at me as devilish. Well, I guess I'm devilish then. Like, I'm not going to run away from it if I'm being told that. Like, all right, well, are you able to handle it? And if the answer is no, then fuck it then. That don't mean I can't handle it. That just means I will shut my mouth around you and continue my studies in private, which is what I did. So I just, now I'm interested in this devil shit. Now I'm interested in demons, and that's what led me to 93. I'm like, oh, I'm interested in the controversy, because the controversy was always put on me. I was a controversial figure. So now I want to study other controversial figures and see what commonalities, what are the similarities. And I'm like, okay, they was on their own shit. Well, I guess I have to be on my own shit. I can't claim nothing else that anybody else claim. And again, that's what's 93. I went into the darkness itself. Let me claim this, some shit that everybody had forgotten about. And as you see, even to this day, 93 never became like a thing. It's just us, as you see, right? It's just us. 93 is just us. It ain't become popping, now everybody's on it. Nah, if they on it, they do it in secret. It's just us, 93. I walk around with this shit on my back, as you see. I'm ready to live for it. I'm ready to die for it. It is what it is. But you see, it's just us though, because it's just too much. It's too much that come with that, and I'm like, that's exactly why it needed to be that. So that's why I dedicated myself to it. I'm like, it has to be this, because I'm like, all right, well, if Aleister Crowley is the wickedest man in the world, and then I'm the devil of these times, well, I guess we have something in common. And lo and behold, I guess we did. So it's just that simple. But as you see, this ain't no shit that people are just gonna run into. You ain't gonna run into 93 haphazardly. It has to come to you. It came to me. Like I said, I didn't read the book of the law to what, 2020? Before I even knew what 93 was, I'm like, I'm already in this shit. I didn't even know. And that's what I mean by I was never the person that was looking to be something. Because if I was looking to be something, I would have been read the book of the law. Why did I just read it a couple years ago? We only in 2024, I read it 4 years ago for the first time. But y'all see, I've been on YouTube, 10 years? I only read the book of the law 4 years ago. So that's 6 years I never read that, but y'all see, I was on that. And I didn't even read the main literature because I didn't know it existed, because I wasn't looking for it. All this shit was coming to me. I just had to understand why. And I'm sure all of you have a similar story. Things just come to you and you got to figure out why. You don't just know why. That's what makes you different than all these spiritual people. They're going to it. They're trying to find themselves in that. Ain't shit coming to them. They're trying to find themselves in all this shit that already exists. It's already popping. It's already hot. It's already trendy. They're not trying to find, well, what's not trendy, what's not popular, what's not mainstream, what's in the underground. They're not looking in the underground to see what exactly is really here for them. They're not going to take that journey, because that requires you to be a little demonic. Not fully demonic, but you got to have that demon in you activated. You can't just have the angel activated, because that's basically what they're saying. They're trying to remove the demonic Kareen as if the only one that exists is a positive one. You see how they're trying to mix this shit up, and they're trying to make it what it's not? That's what they do. Okay, you only have one Kareen now. You don't have two. That was the original understanding. You had two, one demon, one angel. Now it becomes one, and then that one that you have is just an angel. That's why it became what? A guardian angel. We have a guardian angel. Well, what about the guardian devil? You never heard that, though. Who talks about that? You don't just have a guardian angel, you have a guardian devil, too. You ain't gonna ever hear nobody talking like that. Like, your guardian devil saved you sometime. It ain't just your fucking guardian angel. Your guardian devil has put pain on shit, so that people who were thinking about harming you, they end up getting harmed. Your guardian devil handled that shit. You don't even know. You don't even know. It ain't just the guardian angel people call God. No, the devil is in that shit too. The devil didn't stop some bad shit from happening to your motherfucking ass too. It ain't all God. It ain't all the guardian angel, because you got another motherfucker with you too. But nobody acknowledges that. The mainstream don't acknowledge that guardian devil. So why I gotta be the one that's saying that shit? Type up a video now on YouTube, guardian devil. How many videos you think is gonna come up? Who is your guardian devil? But you type in guardian angel, they got an abundance of that content. But you see, the real shit just it don't ever make it, and it is what it is. I don't care to change it. I'm like, this is just how things always been. I don't really care to change the dynamics. It's always only been a few of us. It's supposed to be that way. The mainstream, they're not ready for you to just tell them what it is. They're too gone and lost in their own bullshit. This is what I mean. Like, unless a person is coming with an empty cup, most people is coming with cups, they're already half full, meaning they already got their mind made up type shit. They didn't pour the water out and start fresh. That's what you gotta pour all the water out and start fresh. You don't get to have your cup half full. Or I kinda already know what's going on. No, the fuck you don't. Empty the goddamn cup. But they know they want to hold on again to their personal experience. Well, I've been through this. I know you didn't. You ain't been through anything. The soul hasn't been through anything. It's your body. Your body has been through a lot, but your soul is untouched. Ain't nobody ever harmed your soul. Your body, maybe. People did ridiculous amounts to the body, but to the soul don't give a fuck about that. The soul is greater than anything that's going on in the physical world. But everybody want to be attached to the physical like that's the only thing that exists because they don't have a soul. What Bobby Hemmett say, they are counterfeit spirits. Counterfeit spirits. But we want to act like we didn't hear the master teacher tell us that already. We want to act like, oh, that's... But you see how they did him when after he went on about his life, he made a different decision. Now we act like that shit don't exist. Then look at Brother Panic. Whole page is deleted. You can't even tap into his energy. The fuck is this? And I'm just mentioning them because, you know, Bobby Hemmett was one of the only teachers that ever mentioned the Book of the Law or AWAS. All the other scholars and teachers, they stayed away from that, but Bobby Hemmett, as you know, talked about the devil and all that, so that's why I resonated with that. But I'm like, well, after him, though, everybody went in a different way, and then they slandered his name. I'm like, how did you slander it? That's why I'm like, all right, this is bullshit. Not what he was doing, but what everybody, like, oh, they were just using his energy. Everything was cool when he was here on the scene, but as soon as he departed the scene, now people are starting to speculate, oh, well, he was on some bullshit. Because they didn't put the work in. They think, oh, they were just laughing at him. Like, they didn't know, like, yo, he was really putting in work. So that angel and that demon have to be activated because they are always there anyway. So people got the angel activated, but they don't got the demon activated. Then they wonder why bad shit happens. Because, like, why would your demon protect you if you don't even acknowledge it? You trying to delete the shit like it ain't supposed to be there when it was granted to you. That was a gift to you. But people don't want to think in those terms. Your fucking guardian devil was a gift to you. Just like your guardian angel was a gift to you. That's not a curse. But imagine that. Some people look at that as a curse. There's some people walking around with dark skin and feel like they cursed. Because like you like, oh, you know what come with that. It's a lot that come with this dark skin now, isn't it? But that just means your devils and your demons are stronger. That's just what it is. You got a stronger connection to all that dark ass shit. It's up to you to understand what it means though. But some people look at it as a fucking curse, but it's hard to look at it as a gift. You gotta flip the shit. You gotta tap into the angel, you can say. To really understand the demon requires you to tap into your angel. So it's like you can't neglect the angel either. That's why I keep talking about the gray path, right? We going beyond left hand path, right hand path. You're like, yo, you need both. You gotta go down the middle to understand each other. You gotta understand your demons to understand your angels. To understand your angels, you gotta understand your demons. They go hand in hand. They're not separate. They are separate, but they are also connected. But again, like it ain't many people even talking like that. So it's like, what the fuck happened in the process of translation? All this. What happened is it became about the money, like I was saying earlier. Once it became about the money, you can't say real shit no more, because that's not going to make you money. As you see, I'm not making any money saying this shit, right? So I already know that. I got to get my money elsewhere, right? I don't get to be like all these other people and get a YouTube check and then feed you bullshit. I don't have that opportunity. I'm like, my soul doesn't allow me to do it. That's why I've never done it. To the point where I'm not even a YouTube partner anymore. I have left the partnership. So I make $0, but I still show up because that has always been in my heart. I know the original energy of the YouTube. I'm here to keep it alive. It ain't too many of us left. That's what this is really about. It ain't too many of us left that has seen the whole story and experience it. It ain't just see it, but you have been a part of it because you have been giving yourself to the building of the platform. So that's why there's not many people in this position, which is why I have to constantly show up. Not even constantly at this point, but I have to continue to show up. I don't get to just leave. Like people say, you don't forget where you came from. Like, all right, well, to not forget where I came from means I have to stay tapping back in, regardless of if it makes me no money, and it doesn't. But I still tap back in because I'm like, yo, it's more than that. There's more to this shit than being successful or being positive. But it has to be me though. I'm probably the only one that even talks like this. People may try to talk dark, but it's like they're not that. As you see, everything I'm saying you can look up. Right? I made sure that everything that I say is you can verify it. So you know that I'm not just making shit up. Oh, I had a vision and I'm about to tell you what the vision. Fuck a vision. Let me educate you about the Quran, which is a real thing. It's Islamic, right? Islam has been a part of my life my whole life. So I may not be a Muslim praying 5 times a day, but Islam exists before the religion. What is real Islam then? Before the religion. When they was worshiping the goddess, the triple goddess, who established Mecca. Mecca was established by the triple goddess. Not the one God. Mecca existed before anybody was calling out the name Allah. Before the world knew who Allah was, Mecca existed. The Kaaba existed. And people went there to worship the triple goddess. But when we talk about that, in Islam, that's considered the satanic verses. Those verses are satanic, even though it came out the words of the prophet. Those words came out the mouth of the prophet when he mentioned the name of the 3 Guranik, the 3 goddesses, the holy cranes. It came out the mouth of the prophet, but oh no, he was influenced by Iblis. That's what the Muslims tell you. He was influenced by Iblis, and Iblis made him utter those words that it became forbidden and controversial. You're not going to find that in any mainstream Quran. You're not going to find the satanic verses. They took them out. Who took them out? The so-called scholars, the so-called people that established the religion of Islam. They're like, okay, no, if we keep that shit in there, that's too much of a reminder of the pagan origins of Islam. Islam comes from pagan origins. This is what I keep saying. You can't have the Kabbalah without the clip-off. You can't have religion without the pagan origins, because these ideas already existed. Even Christianity, the ideas within Christianity come from the pagans. The difference is the ideas were separated. What do I mean? For example, we know the early Christians were the Gnostics, but all the Gnostics didn't think the same. They had different ideas. So Christianity is all those different ideas compiled into one. Same thing with Islam. You had many different pagan sects, but they all had different beliefs. Islam is bringing all those tribes together. So that's why I say I understand the purpose of religion. It merged the science into one. Whereas before, you had to go to different sets to get different knowledge, because they all didn't believe the same shit. So they had to establish religion to bring all of them together into what? Make money. It became business. So that's all religion is business. The business of let's all merge together and make this money. We ain't gonna make no money by remaining separate, by having these separate beliefs. Let's everybody get a piece of the pie, and then we all gonna make this money. We gonna all come under one title, one banner. So I'm like, okay, it's smart for business. So I get it, but ain't nobody gonna tell you that, like, oh, that was a business move. It was. Religion was a business move. This shit was never about finding no divine or a demonic. Because everybody had their own beliefs, meaning they were tapping into some real shit, which made them believe what they believed, because they was tapping into real shit, doing all type of psychedelics, doing what we do anyway. The shrooms, smoking the weed, drinking the alcohol, they was doing the same shit we do now, tapping in, doing what they had to do, and it was getting real shit, and it became compiled, and now we have a Bible, now we have a Quran. So even when we look at like books of Revelation, this is all psychedelic visions. That's tripping off shrooms. They was tripping off shrooms. But you got to go back to the 1950s to even see that shit. You know, the Santa Claus with the shrooms. They stopped that shit, but in the 50s, it was Santa Claus with the shrooms, Adam and Eve with the shrooms. There's art on churches that show Adam and Eve with the shrooms. But eventually it became a tree of knowledge of good and evil when it's just mushrooms. It's just that simple, right? See, but we want to make shit extra complicated because we don't want to just say that outward. We don't want to just be real like that's just a little bit too real. It's too real to be like that, right? Out of all the YouTubers that have a decent following, who would you say is the closest to the real, if any? None of them. I would say none of them. Even everybody claims to be real, but because I'm just thinking about it's a lot that come with it. Like if you're real, you probably don't even want to be a YouTuber. That's essentially where I'm going at it. If you're real, you probably don't even want to be a YouTuber. That ain't really what real people do. Because we see what YouTubers do. They talk about what? Gossip. They talk about mainstream topics and trendy shit. They're not just speaking from the heart. You see, I didn't have to use nothing that's going on in the mainstream. You see, I just put the title in. I don't even remember the fucking title I put in. I just put in some shit. And then I didn't plan any of this. Everything I'm saying was not planned. I'm just speaking from the heart. Every time I pop up, it is never planned and I just speak from the heart. That's just how it's been for a very long time now. That's not how YouTubers operate though. They don't just, because they can't speak real because they may jeopardize the bag. They're not going to do anything to jeopardize the bag because that's their lifestyle. Their whole image is attached to them having the bag. So it's like they just can't be real. They can't do it. So it's like I have nobody to point to. Unless they have been on YouTube for a very, very long time before any money was made. So if you know YouTubers like that, like damn, they got videos going all the way back to 2005, 6, 7, before Google took over. If they've been active that long, then I'm like, all right, there's a possibility. But anybody who came after the fact, they came because they knew money was to be made. That's all it is. So it's like anybody who's trying to make money off of YouTube is not here for the original reason why YouTube exists. YouTube does not exist for people to make money. Now, can you make money on YouTube? Yes, but to say that that's the reason it exists is false. That's what I'm saying. The reason YouTube exists isn't for people to make money. This shit is not about business as to why it exists. Now, do people use it as an avenue to make money and to expand their business? Absolutely. But is that the reason why it exists? No. The reason it exists is for people to speak from the heart and to do some real shit. But you have to do it at a cost. To like, okay, I can't financially benefit off of being real. Being real is not financially beneficial. That's why they say like the real people are dead or in jail. When you too real, it's hard to financially benefit. See, that's the thing. Like when you're real and you're still trying to financially benefit off of your realness, because you're doing deals with record labels or you're doing deals with YouTube. You know, being a part of the part, it's all deals. Once you sign that dotted line, you just can't be who you really are. That's just what it comes down to. So if you are a part of the YouTube partnership program, that means you really can't move like you would move if you wasn't a part of it. Like, okay, I'm just using YouTube just to advertise myself. It ain't to make no money. It's just to spread the truth. So you just gonna say what needs to be said, and it don't have to be shit happening or nothing going on. You see, I could have been came on here and talked about anything, all the mainstream events. Oh, this just happened, you know, trying to capitalize off of all the trendy topics. And you see, I just been chilling. I ain't tried to capitalize off of nothing. As you see, I'm still not. I don't have anything trendy in the title. This title was just some shit I just thought of. So the only reason you're here is because you want to be here. You're not here because of what's going on in the world. Because I don't have nobody's names. I don't have nothing related to anything going on now. You see, I'm speaking about everything going on, so I'm aware. But I'm not going to use that as a catalyst to pull people in. Because I'm like, you ain't supposed to be here any goddamn way. So this is how I control the audience. I control the audience. Like, I'm not going to put none of that shit in there because that's going to attract an audience that don't even need to hear what I have to say. That's going to interrupt the ethers. So the only people here is like, you got to really already know what's going on to even be here. You don't just haphazardly stumble upon my channel, and I like it that way. Again, that's just the Pluto in me. That's the Scorpio in me. I don't even want you around here if you don't know how you got here. Like, you have to know why you're here. Because I'm going to say some things that's pretty disturbing, but I'm like, I have to do it. I can't just not do it. I'm like, okay, let me do some fake shit just to get a check. I'm like, nah, you see, that has never worked for me, right? That has never worked for me. So I just had to expand outside of YouTube. So that's why I don't show up as often as I would like. Cause I'm like, I have to get the bag from different sources. Then I can bring the real back to the YouTube. So I just had to switch up how I do it. I'm like, all right, I can't just be speaking the real all the time. Let me lock everything else down, then I can speak the real when the spirit inclines me. That's what I said. I don't plan it because I never know that I'm even going to do these videos, because I don't wake up, okay, I'm about to do a YouTube video today. That's not how my day goes whatsoever. I don't ever wake up knowing that I'm going to be in front of the camera, because that's never my intention. It's just the spirit sparked me like, yo, get the fuck up. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. That's why I'm here now. When I woke up this morning, I know, okay, I'm about to do a YouTube video. Nope. Fucking wash my face off. You're like, yo, it's time for you to speak. Get the fuck. I'm like, all right, well, I guess it's time. Otherwise, it would be a lot more planned. I would have the titles. Have all these things organized. But it's never a plan. So I show up when I'm inclined to. And that's just all it is. Like, if I'm not inclined by the spirit, then I'm like, I'm just doing some other shit. But when the spirit when I get possessed by the spirit, then I'm like, all right, it is what it is. So it's through possession. I have to be possessed. It's my guardian angel or my guardian devil has to possess me and to do these things at this point. Because I'm like, all right, I can't just be speaking crazy. My whole channel would be deleted if I just speak this shit real and just raw. I'm like, all right, we're on YouTube, so let me speak only when I'm inclined to speak versus when I want to speak. That's why we're still here after 10 years, because I'm only speaking when I'm inclined to. If I just dealt with every little thing, every little bit and piece, now YouTube is trying to ban my ass. That's when I get in trouble. I'm like, yo, I'm speaking a little bit too much. If I just do it when I'm inclined to, I don't have no issues. So I can just speak real and get the fuck on. And you may not see me for weeks. Versus you seeing me all the time. But then that's when YouTube be trying to hit me with strikes and shit. I'm like, oh yeah, you doing too much. I'm like, all right, maybe I am doing too much. Let me fall back and let me speak when I'm inclined. But is that the way YouTubers operate? No, a YouTuber has to plan their shit, and everything has to be high quality and professional, and everything just has to be over the top because it's illusion. They're painting illusionary pictures. So of course they have to present it in a way that makes it watchable. That's all it is. They know how to make this shit watchable. So they can be doing some fake shit, but it's pleasing. But that's why I do the ASMR. So y'all be seeing me. I'm like, okay, I can do some illusionary shit too, and I can make it ASMR and make motherfuckers tingle and help you to sleep. That's why I do it. Let me help you to sleep. Let me help you to get into the astral plane. So if I'm gonna do some illusionary magic, at least it's gonna help you to do your spiritual work. I'm not just gonna do it because it's beneficial to me, but it's not beneficial to you. So I'm just at a point where I don't really need nobody to benefit me at this point. I just want to benefit others. That's where I'm at. I'm like, let me just give. I don't really need to take shit from nobody. I don't need to ask nobody for no favors. Again, that's why y'all don't see me. I'm not advertising no services. I don't want a goddamn dime from you because I don't like the energy of asking for shit any goddamn way. That's why you see if I don't have to ask, I don't ask. When the last time y'all saw me shout out a Cash App or anything, I'm like, I ain't about to ask. When I don't need to, I'm like, what the fuck I don't. Now if I needed it, then it's different. But I'm like, okay, if I don't need the financial assistance, why the fuck am I asking for it? So you ain't I'm not gonna ever drop no Cash App. Y'all see I'm doing the shirts. Am I advertising the shirts? Nope. If you around me, then you can get a shirt. But I'm like, I'm not about to, man, okay, click this website, you can get a shirt, man. It's not that serious. It's really not that serious. But I got a bunch of designs. So I got like 20, I got hundreds of designs at this point, honestly. I'm making new shirts every week, but that's for me to put on. That ain't for like, okay, I'm about to make this. Maybe one day I will. But for now, this is just organic. I don't feel like wearing nobody else's. I'm not about to wear nobody else's shit on my chest. That's just where I'm at in life. Where I'm at in life. I'm only wearing my own designs on my chest. You ain't go see the Gucci, the Louis, the anything that's expensive. I'm wearing my own designs because it's priceless. So everybody else can walk around with $1,000 shirts, $100 shirts. I'm like, yeah, but I'm walking around my own design, something I designed myself. So it's a hieroglyph, and I know what the hieroglyph means instead of me going into a store and I don't know what none of this shit mean, but I know what I did mean, and I know the effect it's gonna have. So I'm more in control of my reality because I'm in control of the emblems and the symbols that I'm putting out, where I'm just putting on anybody's shit. So the only symbols and glyphs you gonna see me with is my own symbols and glyphs, which completely influences your environment in a whole different way. Versus you just putting on shit because it's popping, it's hot, and it's like, but you have no idea that it gives off so much negative energy. People don't understand the way energy work though. We become successful to wear all these name brands, but that shit is attached to so much dark negative energy that it's not beneficial to you. When you could just make your own shit. Just imagine that. I would get more hate walking down the street with these designer brands than wearing my own shit. Why is that? Is it because of what it costs? Nope. I can have full Gucci outfit from head to toe. That's gonna get me more hate than me having my own brand head to toe. I designed everything from head to toe. If anything, people are like, yo, that's dope, I need that. But let it be something name brand, Louis, Gucci, Fendi, whatever it is, head to toe. That's brings a whole different energy. It brings a whole, and it's not really positive. It's not really positive. That's what I've just learned it. Like, it's not positive. It's just better for you to wear your own shit, be in control of your environment, be in control of your reality. It's just much more beneficial for you to do that. You avoid so many problems by just being in control of the emblems and the symbols that you display. It's simple, but people just, they want to make all this money and just be other than themselves, and they wonder why they get caught up. Why people want to rob them, why people want to kill them. You would think they would want to kill my ass by the shit that come out my mouth, but they don't. Imagine that. You got people around here that really want to hurt motherfuckers. Nobody trying to hurt me though. You would think they would want to do something to me. I didn't brought so much demonic energy to this platform. You would think they would try to extinguish my ass. Like, get this motherfucker off the platform. But I never make it to the tabloids. Why? I never make it to the tabloids. People ain't making videos about me, trying to expose me for doing any goddamn thing. Why not? People just leave me the fuck alone. And I'm honest, ain't no YouTuber is trying to reach out to do no business, no nothing, because they already know, leave this motherfucker alone. And that's why I'm still here. So after 10 plus years, I'm still here because I ain't do no business with other YouTubers. I ain't try to be cool with other YouTubers. It's fucked up though. That's fucked up. But that's why I'm still here. Because I don't fuck with YouTubers. I don't fuck with spiritual people. I don't fuck with these people. This is how people get you caught up in chaos and confusion. So because I separated myself and isolated myself, I'm still around. So I'm like, oh, am I going to get myself killed, or would I get killed by being in somebody else's presence? I don't know what type of demons they carry. I don't know what type of karma they carry. So that's why you don't see me in pictures with nobody. I'm like, I don't want to be around. Like, I don't know what type of energy these motherfuckers, what's on these motherfuckers. What type of stupid ass shit that they did that can come back on now. I'm like, I don't even want to be a part of it. So because I just been always comfortable just being in my own isolation, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get myself hurt or harmed. So that's you see, I haven't been hurt or harmed because I just be by my goddamn self. All that shit come behind other people. It's just but you should know that already. If you have any type of street intelligence, you already know that to be the case. Motherfuckers be trying to get the person beside you. It ain't you. When you really know what's in your heart, it ain't people ain't trying to do shit to you, but the motherfucker next to you may have did some shit you don't even know about, and then now you gotta deal with the karma. So that's why I don't have a bunch of friends. I can't really name friends at all. I just don't do that. Because I don't be knowing the type of energy motherfuckers be having. I'm like, yo, I don't really know what they really into like that. Especially, again, if they spiritual. I'm like, yo, that shit is a red flag to me at this point. I don't want to hear shit about it. I'm just being honest. I don't want to hear shit. I'm spirit. I don't want to hear shit about it. I don't want to hear nothing. Because I'm like, when I start talking my occultism, they look at me crazy. I'm like, I don't want to hear shit about it then. Fuck out my face with that. I don't want to hear nothing about that. So you see, I'll be cool enough. And that's why I'm still around and still talk my piece. And it's been over 10 years and nobody tried to expose me. I'm like, all right, well, I've been waiting for the smoke. I have been waiting for the smoke, but they don't ever bring the smoke. Why not? Because I just don't fit within the category of a YouTuber. I never try to be so to them, I don't even exist. That's why. You're not going to make no money talking about me. You're going to make money talking about these people who already got names in the media who people already think is foolish. You're going to make money off it. You're not going to make no money. So that's, again, because they're business people. All they care about is a dollar. I'm not beneficial financially. So they just leave me the fuck alone. Imagine that. There is no financial benefit to exposing me, so they don't. If there is no financial benefit, they don't want nothing to do with it. So I already know how this shit works. So I kept myself financial. Like, you gonna put yourself in a financial burden trying to fuck with me, and that's why they don't. They're not reaching out. They're not trying to do no business. It's gonna be a burden on you because I'm like, no, this is not what makes money. Entertainment makes money. Not real shit don't make you money. Entertainment. Talk about some shit that you didn't do. Talk about some shit that's not you. That's gonna make money. But if you take the path of, oh, I'm about to talk about my life, exactly what I did, like, all right, it's not entertainment no more. You see, when I do music, all my music is on my page. That shit is not entertainment. Even the ASMR I do, you see, I'm doing a cult ASMR. This is not even entertainment at this point. You follow the ASMR journey, you probably gonna end up learning some shit, unlocking some. This is not entertainment. I don't know how to be an entertainer. Y'all see, all my music is talking about what I'm actually doing. What I'm like, I'm not talking about nothing that I'm not into. So you're not gonna hear me talking about guns and shit and violence. I'm finessing shit. I'm more player. I'm more pimpish. You're gonna hear about the pimping. You're gonna hear about this is how you utilize your mind. This is how you utilize your spirit to navigate life. I ain't about to talk about much of anything physical, really. As if that's the end all be all. That's just the beginning. So as you see, I'm like, but it's not at that point. It's not entertainment. So I'm like, it's music, but it's real. It's what's actually occurring. It's things that have actually occurred. So it's not entertaining. So that's why people are not drawn to me. They're drawn to entertainers. So the people with followings are actually entertainers. That's the difference. When you're real again, it's not. You can be real and talk about the shit after the fact. Like you can be somebody who was doing crazy shit in the 80s or something, and then you can come back now when you done did all your time and you done served all your time. You can talk about the shit then, but you can't really talk about what you're doing while you're doing it, while you're in the midst of doing it, because that's a little bit too, you're revealing a little bit too much. But as you see, as I just said, everything that come out my mouth, I did not plan this. So everything that I'm speaking is coming from the heart. It's right now. There's no reason for me to talk about some shit that happened, in the past, and not related to what's going on now, and present it in the way that you can benefit in the future from. That's really, I try to blend past, present, and future. So it's timeless. So even if you're watching this video 5 years from now, you can still get something from this, because I'm not just talking about what's going on right now. So you can still benefit from this regardless of when you actually tap into this. That's how I try to structure my videos. You can listen to any of the videos and you can get something from it regardless of when you actually listen to it, whether it was made a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or it was made yesterday. You can still benefit. Because this channel was never about, I'm going to talk about what's going on. Every now and then I was talking about current events, but the majority of the channel, you can benefit from it regardless of when you tap in. But it's always an underground thing because of the nature of it. And it ain't even 93, because the channel was dark even before I even started talking about 93. That's why I say it was just me. It's just my energy. It's my energy that makes it dark or makes it forbidden or makes it taboo. So me just adding a 93 to it just solidify what it already was. Because you see, we was already on that type of time even before we had a title or a level, even before any of this was a thing. But again, you go back 10 years, first videos, I was still dealing with the Book of Thoth. So it took me about 6 years before I was even ready for the Book of the Law. I was dealing with the Book of Thoth, which is the tarot. I had to master the tarot first. But how many people can you say master the tarot? This that. Like, we ain't even got to go no further than that, to the point where I don't ever have to pick up a physical tarot deck. I know each of the 78 cards in detail. I don't even need a deck no more. So I'm like, I had to master that before I even started talking about any of the other stuff. But I see tarot readers on YouTube, they can't even do that. You take that tarot deck away from them, how beneficial would they be? Like, okay, you actually need the physical tarot deck. I don't even need a deck. I can just look at the date. What's the date? It's August 13th. It's the day of death. So is it really a coincidence that I show up on the 13th, the day of death? So even though when I say, oh, the spirit inclined me, well, why did the spirit incline me to hop on YouTube on the 13th day, on the day of death, according to the tarot? Why was this the day and not yesterday or tomorrow or any other number? Why does it have to be that third, which is 13 is considered an unlucky number in the Western society, right? We consider 13 unlucky. So why did I pop up on the so-called unlucky day? Why didn't I just pop up on the lucky day? All right. simple stuff, right? Because death would considered to be unlucky. We haven't got to a point where we celebrate death, which we should. We should celebrate death. Death is not something to be mad about or sad about. It's something to be celebrated. The same way you celebrate new life, you should celebrate death. But that's, religion has taken us away from that. We would do that in traditional cultures. Again, you go down to Mexico and you find Santa Muerte. That's a celebration of death. Because it's supposed to be. That's why they had the Day of the Dead, right? The Day of the Dead is a celebration of those who have transcended. It's not to be sad, it's to celebrate them. Right? But you come over here, you get religious, now it's all, and you see that dead man on the cross, is now the meaning is different. Now we mourning and we crying and we hate that shit when it's something not to be hated because it's a part of life. But we just don't want to accept life, now do we? What's up, Don't Trip TV? You should check out Queen C. Wait. I guess I kind of missed. What's up, an unexpected friend? What's going on? What's up? Again, as you see, I'm unshaven. I ain't even trying to do nothing extra. I just woke the fuck up. So this definitely wasn't planned, but it has to be this way, right? This is when it's the most authentic. If I did too much planning, it wouldn't be the way it needed to be. Is Rashad Jamal legit or Rod Hayes? Again, I don't want to shout out like people's names in particular because I'm not into them, I don't use YouTube to gain information. So any of the spiritual people that's popular as hot, it's like I don't tune into them because there's just no need for me to tune into them. Because I'm like, what would I actually get from these people? Let's just be real. From what I heard, it's like Rashad Jamal was like pushing Ifa. He was talking about Orishas and shit. Right? That's the type of time he was on. Rod Hayes, I don't know. It's like, but again, none of these people come off to me as real. None of these people come off to me like they would be here doing it if it wasn't benefiting them. I don't get that energy from none of these people. That's why I don't even tap into them. Like, I know who they are just for the sake, because their names is rotating. So I'm like, okay, who is this person? So I know of these people. Like, I look up all the figures, but I never become a fan. I never become a follower, because I'm like, all right, if you take the money away, would they be here? And I'm like, nah, they wouldn't. All the popular people, if it was not financially benefiting them, they wouldn't be here. So I'm like, they're here for a financial benefit. So it's like, I can't look at that as sincere. It's because it's not. It's like you will be doing something else with your time if you were not being compensated. You would not be here if you wasn't being paid to be here. It's like a person showing up because they were paid to show up. All right. And again, it just makes it business. And if all there is about is business, then let them be businessmen and businesswomen. Or YouTubers, right? So I feel like a YouTuber is a businessman or a businesswoman if that's what they want to be. But that's just not what I am, though. All right? So I don't tap into them. I don't tap into anybody. So I'm like, I'm not speaking about anybody in particular. I don't tap into none of these people. But I know who they are. Because it's like whenever their names do come up, it's because of some controversy. That's another reason why I don't tune in. I'm like, all right, their names be popping up, but it don't be about positive shit. It be about some stupid ass shit going on. So like that's another reason why I don't be typing in. If I type in these names right now, it's gonna be some dumb shit attached to it. So that is just hard for me to take that shit seriously. I'm like, if I type in your name and it's controversy, people are trying to expose you, people are saying that you did them wrong. It don't ever be about the knowledge, it be about the other shit. Meaning they're not good businessmen and they're not good businesswomen. Because you got all these people talking about how they didn't do good business. They paid for something they didn't get it or some shit. So it's like they don't even do business good. So it's like it's hard for me to take that shit seriously. I'm like, yo, why is people trying to expose you because you doing bad business? I guess they're supposed to expose it. So it's like if you're not even on a level where you can do good business, then there's definitely no reason for me to tune into you because I'm like, that ain't me. Everybody who was paid me, they got their service. That's why people didn't expose me. I've never done that. Like, okay, I just took somebody money and I didn't give them what they paid for. It's not in me to do that, and I never did that. So that's why people still fuck with me because I'm like, yo, you ever gave me anything, you got what you paid for. So when people are paying you and you ain't giving them what they paid for, I'm like, and it's been times where I'm like, I can't do it, and I sent the money back. So if it was ever a time where I'm like, yo, I can't do it, I gave the money back. So I never kept nobody money. So if I didn't do it, I'm like, yo, I just don't have time to do it. I just send the money back. And that's what's been going on now. It's like, if you like, this is what I'm saying. If you sent me something, I would send it back. I don't even got time to do it. If somebody would pay me, if somebody would to send me like $100 right now, hey, I need a natal chart done, I would send that shit back. I mean, I don't even have time to do it, man. It's like it ain't worth the time no more. But I'm like, it just got to be worth my while at this point. You got to pay me some shit that I'm not already making type shit. I'm like, all right, I ain't about to. I'm not gonna take a day off to do a goddamn natal chart. Time that I could be spending doing some other shit. I'm like, time is just so little for me right now. I just did 6 days in a row. I just worked 6 days in a row. This is my only day off. Going right back tomorrow. So like shit like that, I'm like, if it ain't worth my while, I'm like, I'm sending you your money back. I'm like, I don't even have time to do that. Now, if it's worth my while, I'm like, all right, I can do that. It's a day off. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'll take the whole day. I'll lay out the red carpet for you. But if it ain't, I'm gonna give you your money back. And that's just where I'm at now. I'm like, I just have so little time. I'm like, I have to be very strategic with how I use it now. I don't just have the time just all day. So, like, as we know, these bills is real, right? So I'm like, so that's why I don't advertise. I'm like, at this point, people can't afford it. I'm just being real. It's just don't even try. You can't afford it because it's the time. Time is more important than money. This is what I'm saying. My time is more important than money because I have so little time. So the time is expensive, as we know. Like I'm saying the same shit that everybody already know, right? The time is just so expensive at this point. It's just not. It don't be worth it no more. So that's why I don't advertise. I'm like, here's your money back. I don't have time for it. Time is very expensive, so I can't do anything cheap no more, right? I don't have discounts. Nothing is cheap. Time is way too expensive. So if you're not able to afford the time, then I'm like, here's your money back. So that's just me being honest. Right? Time is way too expensive. What else did they say? How do I feel about Mexicans in hip hop? I feel like as long as you adding on to the culture, I'm with it. I'm with anybody who was adding on to the culture. What I'm not with is people taking away from the culture and they didn't add on to it. So if you Mexican and you add on, meaning you're making hip hop great again, right? If you are a part of hip hop and you're making hip hop great again, I'm with it. I don't give a fuck about your heritage or culture. Actually, it would make me want to give a fuck about it. So let me say that correctly. If I see that you're adding on in a way that it hasn't been done before, then that's gonna make me interested in what you're doing. I'm like, okay, I need to get into this. So anybody who's doing that, I'm all with it. I'm not really looking at the heritage or the culture like, okay, this is a black thing. Well, shit, we all goddamn black if we want to be technical. How can you have to have that in you to even be Mexican, right? So if we want to be technical, it's like, but are there Mexicans who don't claim that shit? Of course, right? But do I really care about that? No. If you add on to the culture, I really don't care what you're into. If you want to deny your heritage, then fucking deny it. If you're adding on to hip hop and you making hip hop better, I can excuse that. See, I'm not picky with it. I will excuse any of your personal bullshit because you don't have knowledge yourself if you're making hip hop better. I'm like, all right, I don't. That's my job. I'll do that. I'm not expecting everybody to come in with knowledge of self to be on their 5% time and to really be about the hip hop culture. I'm like, yo, sure. That shit is illusions at this point. So I'm like, I'm not even, everybody's on business. They on business time, let them do their business, make hip hop better. And I'm not talking about rap, make hip hop better. That means hip hop, the whole culture, not just the rapping. So that's what I'm saying. If it's a Mexican that's rapping, they dancing, they spitting knowledge, they doing a graffiti, and they can make their own beats and they can engineer. Oh, you got my attention. You got my attention. You doing all of hip hop, right? If you doing all of hip hop, you got my attention. But that's just so rare to see though. So that's rare to see. So I'm not really looking. That's rare. So. Because that's what I try to do, right? I'm not just rapping. I got graffiti on the walls. I know how to do graffiti. I make my own beats. Any music y'all hear from me, I engineered it. I'm not going to nobody's studio. My studio is right here, right? This is the mic I would be using. That's why I paid all the money for this mic. I'm using this mic. I'm using this audio interface. I'm using this laptop. And this is what I've been doing, right? So anything you hear from me is coming directly from me. The dance moves and all that. I got all that. You see, I'm doing all of hip hop. I'm not just doing the rap shit. I'm doing every element. So if you practicing, and of course with the knowledge, right? Dropping the knowledge. To me, this is all hip hop. Even me coming on right now, knowledge is an element of hip hop. We can act like it's not, but it is. So this is still within the bounds of hip hop to me. This is how I would take it. This song, my art. That's why I continue to show up. I'm like, I'm still I'm still mastering my craft, you can say. So even me coming on here, me doing 1,000 videos, this is just me mastering my craft, which is hip hop. So if I had any religion anywhere in life, it would be hip hop, and 93 would be an extension of that. Then Islam would be another extension. Then extensions, you got extensions, but the main sauce would be hip hop. The culture, not the music, the culture. But I'm like, I've been hip hop the whole time. There's never a time where I wasn't hip hop, because I'm like, I never even cared to be. I was so influenced by hip hop, I didn't even want to be a part of the world. I'm like, I don't see myself as a politician or, anybody that's doing anything non-creative. I always saw myself as a creative. I'm going to be doing something creative in the world. Didn't care about being a doctor, the lawyer, all these things that you should strive to be. I'm like, no, I'm a hip hopper. Not just a rapper. I'm like, I'm a hip hopper. And that's just what I've always presented that the whole time. The whole thing has been hip hop, right? The whole time. So that's always gonna be the foundation. So, but we don't even have to. You see, I started getting passionate about it, but when it's your culture, it's your culture. You should be mastering your craft, your culture, and I'm still mastering my culture. So that's why I'm still doing all these things, right? I always got to come to the dungeon and make nothing out of something. It's a bar. Are you gonna ever put your old videos up, not to the public? Nope. And I'll tell you why. The reason I took down my old videos is because YouTube would still be profiting off of the work, and I'm not getting anything from it. That's why the videos are down. Because if it's just, I'm like, why am I allowing YouTube to make money off of my hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and then I get nothing from it? So it will only be available in a private setting. So whether it's a website or anything like that. So if you want to tap into it, I guess that would be a business move. But you see, I still haven't even did that shit yet. So that will be pure business. If you want to tap into the older videos, then it ain't gonna be in a way where YouTube makes money off of it. So YouTube is not making no money. That's why the videos can't be viewed. The only one that would be making money is me, but I would have to set up a private setting for that, which I haven't did because I'm like, I'm not even really caring about the business like that, right? So I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but I'm not gonna allow the Matrix to profit off of real shit at this. That's my whole. I'm just too much of a non-YouTuber for my content to be on YouTube, and then YouTube benefits, and they keep 100% of the profit. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I'll do another 1,000 videos. Right? That's what it is. That's what I'm thinking about. I'll do another 1,000 videos, and then take those off, put in the product, then do another. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm like, I can do a whole another 1,000 videos. That's gonna be better than the first 1,000. My second 1,000 is gonna be better than the first 1,000, and then the next 1,000 is gonna be better than the previous. So that's just me mastering my craft. So any older videos, you really don't even have to worry about, because just worry about the next 1,000. But I know those first 1,000, like that's the energy is just crazy. I understand, because it's hard to replicate that type of energy, because you see those first 1,000 videos was me in the moment, me going through the shit. It ain't just me sitting at a desk reflecting on shit. I'm going through shit as it's happening. So that energy can't really be replicated, which I understand. So you can really tap into that to really spark yourself. So I'll make it available in a private setting, but it's going to be non-YouTube related. So that's the deal with the older videos. It's no reason for YouTube to profit off of it when I'm technically not even a YouTuber at this point. Cause it's like it's no point of it even being there. And those videos is crazy. It's hard for me to even watch those videos, cause it's a little bit too real for me. I'm like, I try to listen to my old stuff. It's just fucking cringy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I be cringing at myself. Like the way I was talking 10 years ago. I'm like, yo, that shit is crazy. But I was real possessed with darker energies, cause I was more relatable to those. Now you can say I've learned to integrate the angelic, so it's not as cringy, but maybe it is it depends on who's watching. I guess it depends on who's watching. This shit is probably still cringy. If it depends on how soft you are. If you soft, I don't even know why you here though. Cause you see, I'm not sparing nobody's feelings. I'm like, it ain't no, like, I'm not trying to gain followers and all that. If you here, it's cause you've been here. So like, I don't have to play that game where I'm trying to get likes and follows. I don't give a fuck about the likes, the follows, the subscriber count. I don't care about any of that. I just care about what's supposed to be cared about, which is speaking from the soul and just being truthful. So if that loses subscribers, loses followers, I'm not gonna stop doing it. Just because it's hard for certain people to comprehend what I'm saying. I'm just going to speak the truth, or I would say my truth, because other people have a different truth, which is fine. But I'm not in those circles, right? You're not going to find me in those circles. You're going to find me in isolation. Anytime I go out into the world, then they consider me a troublemaker, right? That's my title. I'm the troublemaker because I'm looking for the smoke. But then they don't want the smoke. So that's what I'm saying. I'm still waiting on people to expose me on YouTube and shit. I've been waiting for it for 10 years. It just ain't happening. So what am I gonna do? Am I just that much of a saint that I just don't have no dirt? Nope. It's just not profitable. So imagine that. People will leave you alone if they can't profit. So imagine, how do you make yourself non-profitable so people don't even want to take that route? So what I talk about? Infamy. They don't fuck with me because I'm infamous. I'm not famous, but I am infamous. It's like you just leave this month. The same thing like you was gonna talk about a mobster. Now you got to fear for your life. I'm not saying that's the case with me, but it's like it's just not gonna, you're not gonna win. It's just not gonna benefit you. And I use a mobster reference because we are in Las Vegas, right? So we are in mob city. So it's, if you're really a part of the ethers, if you really know what's going on, it's a mentality. It's a certain mentality that you develop. Because I developed the mentality by being here. The moment I stepped into Vegas, I became the entrepreneur. And that's what everything y'all see. I started YouTube, Las Vegas. Entrepreneur, didn't have a job, doing everything artistically. I'm like, I'm taking that route. To me, that's just Las Vegas. Like, if I was in New York, I would be doing a New York thing. If I was in LA, I was doing an LA thing. You just adapt to your environment, and then you use it to your advantage. That's why you must know the history of your city. You must know the spirit of your city. These are the things that I've talked about that only I've talked about, right? People can't really expand on shit if they don't even know where it comes from. So a lot of my concepts, a lot of things I have revealed, it's like you really can't ask anybody else about it because it's like it ain't their idea. How the fuck are they going to elaborate on something that they don't even know how to get to the foundation of, which is not hard. Like, if you just do the history of your city, you can kind of identify what has happened with the appropriate spirits. So it's just the law of correspondence at that point. Do you know the law of correspondence? What's up, Bueno? No, the old videos was the truth. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was possessed by different spirits at that time because I was going through that shit. Right? I was really going through that shit. So it is real. It's just too real for YouTube though. I ain't gonna lie. The only reason my channel didn't get deleted is because I didn't use mainstream titles. The key to YouTube is the titles. The only reason certain shit passed under the radar is because it wasn't too many people that's gonna jump into a live stream 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours and try to find the little 30 seconds that I just went too far. It ain't too many people that's gonna take the time to watch all that, and the AI is not gonna detect all that. It's just too much information. The AI can't do nothing with it. So I had to not only outsmart people and moderators, I had to also outsmart AI. I'm like, okay, so I need to be very strategic. So like, it is strategy behind what I'm like. If I want to reveal certain things, not only do I have to take the financial pay cut, but I have to also be strategic as to, I can't put certain shit in the title. I got to let it got to be completely non-mainstream. No mainstream people is even over here trying to understand what anything I got to say, but it allows me to speak absolutely truthful. Because the people that would be in their feelings trying to report shit and trying to get shit deleted, they don't even end up over here. It's like, this ain't the videos that they watch. This is not the content that they watch. They are more into the entertainment. This is probably the last thing that YouTubers want to tap into. It's like, I'm not even supposed to be on YouTube. This is just how real this shit is. I do not benefit YouTube, but I do benefit you. So what's more important, the soul or the demiurge? That's always the decision that has to be made. Is your soul more important than the demiurge? Because the demiurge snatched away the power that it gave you, because most people have been empowered by the demiurge. If the demiurge takes away your power, who are you? And for most people, not much. because they haven't made themselves outside of the matrix. If the matrix didn't exist, they wouldn't exist, because they're not soulful, again, counterfeit spirits, right? But when you the real, a counterfeit spirit, again, this shit is true. You repel that. I repel counterfeit spirits. So that's why I taught the way I talk. I'm like, I don't want none of these motherfuckers even in the atmosphere. So in this sense, it is black magic. I am casting spells. So I'm being honest, right? I'm not, but I am casting spells to repel the dumb shit. I cast spells to repel the dumb shit so that we can have a pure and intimate space. So it is magic behind this shit. It is spells. So I'm not gonna be a person knowing, yeah, it is going on, but to our benefit, not to our detriment. And again, that's why we're still here. We're still moving forward. We're getting wiser. We're getting stronger. We're getting more intelligent. You see, everything is going up. We're not going down. We done already been down, right? I done already showed y'all the underworld. The fuck I supposed to do? Keep showing y'all the underworld? Now let me show you. Now that you mastered the underworld, which you should have. If you've been watching me long enough, you didn't see me go through it. Why the fuck wasn't you going through it? Or you've already been through it, and then you see, like, okay, this is the levels. It's levels to the underworld. 9 levels of hell. Have you experienced all 9 levels of those hells? The hells within you. Have you experienced all 9 levels, and have you been able to purify yourself so that you can be resurrected in your real light, not the false light, resurrected in the real light? But you got to go through your 9 levels. Everybody does. Shadow work, rites of passage, whatever you want to call it. This is necessary. So while everybody else is on the Kabbalah, you like, okay, my goal is to master that clip off. My goal is to master the Sitra Akra. It's just that simple. Master the Sitra Akra and don't worry about anything else, because that's secondary anyway. The primary aspect is mastering the underworld. That's why I came with this energy. Angel first, demon second. Is demon first. Alright, but I'm going to end this. We're not going to take up any more time. I just wanted to speak. And I'll pop up when the time is right. So till then, stay dangerous. Negativity will always be stronger than positivity. So keep them demons in check. Then the angels will follow suit. 93.